Okay, here we go. Another day, another stream. Today we're gonna do a few different things. We'll see how much of it we can get done. As always, I almost always plan more than I can actually get done. Today I want to work on a couple things to work on the demo. So the demo's out. The demo's live on Steam. Reception's been kind of what I expected. Got a good number of people playing. Got some feedback. Reception's been pretty positive. Um, Not trajectory changing by any means, but good. It's good to get it out there. And I want to add in a couple features to the demo. Right, the big push still is for Steam Next Fest in October, and so all the feedback that's coming in has been fantastic. Can't implement it all, won't implement it all, but it's really been fantastic. And a couple of things that I want to work on today for that demo in terms of polishing it up is one, first thing I want to work on, I'm hoping this is going to be fairly quick to implement, is a skip tutorial button. So there's a handful of players who have spent some time on the demo. They've done it many times. They're just having fun with the game, and the ability to skip the demo, I think, is a good thing to do. If you're coming back to it, let's just skip it. That's going to be a feature that's going to be in the full game, anyways. So let's build it. And it's just a little messy in terms of, like, when you skip the demo, there's a bunch of directives, a bunch of events that happen that you need to skip, but the result of those, completing those directives, completing those quests, however you want to look at it, still need to occur. We need to unlock buildings. We need to make sure other bits and pieces are triggering as normal. So we want to do that. We're going to add in that button, and that's only going to show up if you've already completed the tutorial. So you got to complete it once, and then you'll get the option to skip it after that. And then after that, again, hoping that's not going to take too much more. Maybe that takes an hour to do some testing of it. Then after that, I want to look at creating... I want to try to work on pushing the player to expand. Once you start expanding, once you get your basic economy going, the game goes pretty quick. But there is a little bit of a lag, and I've seen this with players. They're not sure what to do when the tutorial's over. And so I think the more that I can push the player out and to expand, I think the better. And so I want to work on, second thing I want to work on is this. I think it's going to be kind of a custom directive where one of the some of the resource tiles get exposed. So if you haven't explored out beyond your base, you haven't found new resources, this is going to expose some of the iron ore resources and give the player a directive, an incentive to go and develop that resource hub. Those are kind of the two things I want to do. I'm hoping that maybe that directive to go out and expand and to develop that resource, that might be a reusable quest, a reusable directive, but we'll see. But those are the two things. So skip the tutorial button, get that all functional, and then a new directive type to expand people out. So let's take a look here let's see if Unity has loaded. Let's take a look here at what I've got. So far, I've worked on this a little bit. We gotta finish it up. We gotta debug it here, so to speak. So we've got a skip tutorial function. We have all these triggers. So these are any kind of events that need to happen if you skip the tutorial. So that's like unlocking menus, right? So we want to unlock, and maybe we want to do it a little bit differently, but that'll like unlock the worker menu, that'll unlock the market, the space laser, whatever else we need to unlock, that's going to happen in there. And then we need to unlock units. So basically we just want to give normal state of the game and just like let the player go. So that's what we're working on here. So let's take a look at what we've got in there. So that is actually, for better or worse, is sitting on a UI object. Let's get rid of what we don't need. So state of the game, So here we go. So here's our no tutorial triggers. We're unlocking the tech tree. It looks like we're actually locking the tech tree. I feel like that. I don't actually know what that does. I feel like we don't need that, but let's leave it in for now. We are, some of these I forget what they do. The show terrain, I forget what that actually unlocks. I think that unlocks our tiles. Here's our worker menu, and then here's our buildings to unlock. Solar panel, mine, water pump, farm, housing, collection tower, supply ship. So those are all the basics. Okay, well, let's see what happens. The one thing that's not going to work well here is I need to, or is not done yet, is we need to send a message to the communications manager that does all the audio and the hints and the clues for the player. So right here, right, these prompts that come up and are helping the player go through the tutorial, those are not blocked yet, but let's see here. So if we go skip tutorial. All right, so we unlocked, there's our mine, there's our collection tower, there's our solar panel, there's our farm, water pump. That's all working. The unlocking's working great. Let's see. Tech tree is open. Our market is open. I don't want to be showing all those. Interesting. Oh, I think that is just, let's see if it fixes itself. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Normally the market you can only sell the things that you've already produced. That's just a little bit of a user-friendly aspect. You can buy anything, but you can't sell it. That's, again, a little bit of a guardrail for the player. The worker menu is up, running. Resources. Okay, so all of our menus are unlocking correctly. Let's make sure like this is. Okay, we're able to buy things on our tech tree, so that seems good. Okay, I might want to do that a little bit differently. I feel like that has got some side effects. Mainly, I guess that the space laser thing pops up. Okay. So, but we might fix that with a little bit of a hacky support or a little hacky way around this. So next thing I need to do is look at the communication manager. So let's go back to Visual Studio here. Make that a little bit bigger. And our communication manager. So this is doing what it says. And we just need to block some of these because some of these are just like, some of these are chains that happen. You know, some of this you get started and it has kind of a runaway impact. Probably what we need to is, I don't know if we're skipping the tutorial. I don't know if we need an introduction from our assistant here. So let's do, think the simplest, we're going to need some sort of check like, hey, did we skip the tutorial? So let's create a static Boolean here. Tutorial skipped. And whenever we open this window, I think we want to set that to false. And here, we want to go like that. Cool. That'll just give us an easy check. So communication manager. We've got all these subscriptions here. The other way we could do that, which would be tidier. I don't like having static Booleans. I don't like having everything come back to check a Boolean. I don't like that really at all. So let's try this. State of game, tutorial skipped. Let's try this. Let's do that. Okay. And then this, we're going to generate that method. And what we're going to do then is I'm going to copy all of this over here like that. Okay, we don't need that. And we're just going to unsubscribe from the things we don't need. So start in, okay, yep, we don't want that one. Transition to tonight, we still do want that one. Tiles built. Oh, no, okay, so brain's gonna have to take a little minute here. We need to unsubscribe from all the stuff that we don't want to play. So anything we do want to play, let's see here. We might just actually just kind of like, this we definitely need to do. We need to be checking our workers. And I think this one just plays. Actually, we're going to leave that one in there. Yep. Okay. Okay. That one we definitely want. We definitely want a transition to night. Actually, let's do it this way. It's going to be easier to keep track of. We're just going to comment these things out. That's way cleaner. That's way cleaner. I like that a lot better. So let's see how that works out. I'm really hoping this is a nice, clean, simple thing to implement. There might be some side effects here and there, but I'm hoping the way I've kind of built the game and compartmentalized things that this will still work out nice and easy. Okay, so eventually what's going to have here is we get the state of the game. We're going to have a close button, but we're also going to have a skip tutorial option. We're going to close that. We still got, oh wait, well, I'm a dumbass. Let's put that button in there now while we're at it. I hate how all these things stack on top of each other. All right. Okay. So what we want in here is a UI block That is going to go full width like that. And we are going to we're going to stick it up here. Why is that quite so big? All right, that's good enough. And this is going to auto layout to the center. Why the hell did you just disappear? Okay, there we go. This is going to be, nope. Oh, there's a hotkey there I don't know about. Skip tutorial. Skip tutorial. Doesn't look great. That's really, let's maybe add some color to that. Maybe this should be, let's do like 250. Is that gonna look weird? Let's shrink that down. Maybe we'll make this a little bit smaller. All right, that's a little bit better. All right, let's do the game. Skip tutorial button, and then where did we actually do our subscribing? There. Where did you actually subscribe to that? Oh, I see. Okay. Skip tutorial. Clicked. Skip. Okay. And then we're going to do okay. That'll just hook up that button. That way I don't be an idiot anymore. And we can press that button every time. And we'll come back and add some logic here. That skip tutorial button is not going to be shown all the time. We're going to do a check, but we'll come back to that in a bit. All right. Skip tutorial. It does actually have to close the window. And so we're going to have to do close window. Oops. I think I want all those things to still fire. We still want to like start the game, all that kind of stuff. I'm just looking over at the stream preview. I really should change the footer here. The demo releasing August 23rd. That is true. but the demo is out now. If anybody wants to give it a shot while we're waiting for Unity to reload, there's links in the description down below. Get the demo on Steam. It's pretty close to what you're seeing. There's a few changes here that aren't live yet. Okay, why aren't you closing? Did I do something? Did I do something? Did I do? Okay, why is that? Oh, I know what I did. There's an error there and I hit it. Okay. I never assigned the button in the inspector. Yeah, that'll help. If anybody's got any questions in the game, feel free to throw them in chat. It's a quiet day out there in chat today. Or if you've been playing the game and have any suggestions, I would love to hear those. All right. Okay, this appears to be working. It might be that simple. It might be that simple to get that working. Also, made a few changes here. Some of these changes are public. The construction sites now have labels on them, so you know what's getting built. Right was a solar panel. Here's a mine. I don't think it's as important to have labels on once it's done building because you can click on them. You got the name up there. I also did. I think this is a good improvement. This is live. So I've changed the color of the connections. I think it fits the game a little bit better. The bright green worked. I think it worked. But I've now added these icons up here. New icons here to show you what's getting transported. So energy is going from the solar panel to the headquarters. The headquarters is transmitting energy over fuel cells over to the mine, and the mine is sending iron ore back. Hey, Void Hunter. Hey, glad you made it to the channel. Channel's pretty quiet these days, other than my live streams, but glad you made it. This game is it's a resource management automation style game, probably more on the resource management more than automation, and set in this hex tile world. So this world's all buildable. Yeah, I can and build tiles. I don't have the resource right now to be able to place those, but I can build the world around you. And the goal with the game was largely, I love resource management. Automation games, sometimes I love them, but resource management, base building games, I love. But I feel like I often get bored because of the micromanagement. So this was a game intended to kind of reduce some of the micromanagement, but maintain the pieces of those resource management base building games that I really love. There's a big tech tree. Tech tree's procedural. Pros and cons to that. Yeah. Thanks, Nextcar. Yeah, it feels really good to get the demo out. Feels really, really good to get the demo out. It's you always hope for more, but it's nice to get it out. And the feedback, although you can almost always use more feedback. It's been really, really good to get that feedback. Let's see, Void Hunter, how long have I been working on this? Oh, geez. I think the first prototypes of some of this stuff was probably 2.5 years ago. And no, it's not full time. This is, there's been weeks, there's been months where I haven't, just because of life, haven't been able to do work, but probably most weeks I'm getting in 10, 12 hours a week. Just depends on the week, but about 10 or 12 hours a week is what I've been able to do. Can I show some of the tools that I've developed for the game? Sure. Anything in particular? I don't know quite what you're aiming for there. I mean, there's definitely some tools here. Actually, I can point you to a video.
In most of our videos, we're wanting to show off a new feature of Odin or explain how a helper function that takes in a path and then sets the value of the list with all the prefabs that were found in a given location.
Let's see. I mean, I can show you like tools.
If I keep my project folders organized, it's easy to make sure that I have all the prefabs
you're thinking about buying the Odin
and I
Spectre. So
haven't duplicated
I'm assuming if you're asking that question,
simple,
you
but I found it pretty useful.
figured out that I make the Odin videos. So if you haven't,
in most of our videos, we're wanting to show off a new feature of Odin.
if you haven't figured, if that doesn't make sense, check out this video. This video. Yeah, sorry, I was loading in the background. Oh, I've got my speakers on my other computer, which is why I couldn't hear it. So check out that video if you haven't seen that video already. I made that for the Odin guys. That is this. It's this project, some basic tooling, but I can also show you some of the other stuff live here. So tools, there's a lot of stuff here. Some of it's really simple. Like down here in the bottom right, got some helpful buttons. I just got scene loading. I've got some references to scriptable objects. So color data that I use, unit images. Looks like I broke that link. Patch notes. Here's my patch notes. I've got some really basic links down there. It's just super helpful to have those buttons there instead of having to look for them. One of the things that's actually really useful. So let's take a little bit of context. So when you, looks like we didn't actually get any spawning going. Okay, we'll have to fix that. So when you place a building, you get this placeholder, these icon, I don't know what you call them. Yeah, the placeholders, these transparent things. And so one of the tools that I made is that I can drag in, let's say, a model. This is, pretty simple stuff, but I bring, like, say, my model in here, drop my prefab or the FBX model in here. I can tell it what material, so like transparent blue, give it a save location, and then I can put as many models in here as I want, and then I can create the placeholder. And so what that does is then like goes through and strips out any unnecessary components that I don't need, changes the materials, and sets things up for me. So probably 20 minutes worth of work, and means that all of my placeholders are set up exactly the same, which is really helpful. Let's see what else. I think a lot of these were actually made or shown in that video. Let's see if we can grab here's just a custom editor from Odin. It looks complex, but this is the same inspector that you see in the inspector window. And this is a recipe. So this is the recipe for aluminum ore. It takes 2 energy, you get out 1 aluminum ore. And so again, just a window that makes it really easy to do that. I can save that template. I can create a new template. Just makes it really easy, fewer clicks. And then here, like if I want to see a recipe for, say, I don't know, steel plate, I can just select it from this drop down. And there's the recipe, so I can come in and edit it. I don't have to search through my inspector. Here's a recipe for nitrogen, carbon fiber, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of it's like that. It's great for populating the data on scriptable objects. The buttons are super helpful. Let's see if I have any. Like my stats upgrade creator, same idea. Those are scriptable objects. Upgrade creator, same idea. Yeah, a lot of these are pretty similar. That one's probably broken. Build cost editor, again, same idea. So yeah, again, really simple things that I wouldn't take the time to I wouldn't take the time to build a custom inspector in the Unity vanilla sense, but with Odin, it's pretty darn easy. I would also, I can't show you, well, for a couple of reasons, but I use Odin with my day job too, and we're making tools all the time there. It just keeps it really simple. Big fan. All right. We have encountered a problem here. Okay, so it's nighttime and we did not trigger any enemy spawning. So let's go take a look at that. We might just need to insert a, oh, you know what actually could probably work? Trigger, tutorial, nope. Let's look at here. So that it's when the tutorial is complete, so to speak. It's a little bit of a misnomer, built from build housing, build, okay, so when we build housing and housing's done, trigger first enemy spawn. Oh, that may not actually be. And so, and again, here again is Odin really simple. So I have these triggers and I can put a button on them super easily. Like, sounds silly, but it makes it really easy. I have all these different triggers. It's super easy to test them. So let's go take a look. Let's go see building tutorial complete. Let's go see where this, who's listening to this trigger. All right, so communicate. Okay, we're not listening to that. That's getting turned off. Add first power. That is getting listened to. So let's add that into here. Of course, I now forget what I called it. Trigger first enemy spawn. Let's see if that works. Let's see if that works. That might also shorten my day, which would be a problem. Yeah, Void Hunter. Yeah, the tools are super awesome. And if you look, obviously, if you're looking at it, you've probably looked at the YouTube channel and their tutorials. They've got a Discord as well. You can hop on that. You can create super simple tools, and you can create really complex tools. The point of that video that I shared there was kind of this desire that a lot of people think of Odin as, well, I only need Odin if I'm going to make something really fancy. But even with really simple tools, it saves a ton of time. Okay, yeah, okay. So that is the wrong, that trigger is not going to, adding that trigger worked. Now I'm going to get a spawn here. Hey, Adam, thanks for joining. As always. Okay, so that definitely does what we want it to, but I think we need to do, I think we need to figure out, we need something a little different. So all right, let's think this one through here. So I want to do this in the neatest, tidiest way possible. So basically, normally when that building tutorial is complete, we start the clock, we start the spawn, and all that kind of good stuff. But what I really need to do is add this first power. This is really what matters, because I think the start clock, yeah. Okay, so the start clock, that problem there is that we set our total time basically to the end of the day. So what we need to do instead is do game, okay, tutorial skipped, add first power. There we go. That should do it. Because that first power is what kind of gets the ball rolling, I believe. Okay, so let's get rid of that trigger. So what I want to see, we'll put our base down. The other thing that I'm thinking here is that I may need to, so everything gets rolling right off the get-go, which is okay. There could be some problems if the day ends before the player places their headquarters. One of the areas that you're struggling a bit is saving and loading. Yeah, I'll pull that up here. I've begun the process of saving and loading. It is not complete yet. It's big focus is getting the demo out. But let me pull that up. Let's see. Actually, let's speed up here and make sure we get a spawn. I'll go into fast time here. All right, we'll go quick day too. Okay, we're spawning. There we go. Okay. Okay, we spawned. That's great. All right, I'm going to add a bunch of reputation here. And reputation is what kind of progresses the spawns. Okay, good. So I got to a threshold and a second crystal powered up. That is good. And we've got spawns from both directions. Awesome. Here, let me, Void Hunter, let me pull up my save load manager. It is very simple. Thanks. Yeah, I think the game looks pretty. I was joking earlier, like I strive for non-offensive art. It's about the best I can do. All right, so here is my save and load, and it is really this simple. It is 45 lines long, and this is what is saving my game for me. So, kind of at the backbone of all this is my interface, and I'm not claiming this is the best way to do it, and I'm not done yet, so it's going to get remodeled a little bit. But I have this interface. So register data saving. Basically, that's just a reminder to me to be like, hey, you need to, register this component, this class is saving data. We have a save function and a load function where we're passing in the save path. Okay. So then what happens is we implement this interface on the different managers, any object that needs its data saved. That object then, I'd like to find a cleaner way to do this. That object then registers itself. So it calls this register data. It sends in the interface and it gets added to a list. Nice and simple. And then when I save game, I simply loop through that list of the interfaces, calling save, passing in the file name, and the same with load. I loop through that data list, call load, and give it the file name. And so it's really, for me, it's just been really nice and simple and clean to do this. That way, every manager, every component that needs to be able to save and load data is responsible for itself. It just so far is working really nicely. Where it doesn't, well, and so really these components are on manager. So let's see if I can find a, oh, I'm on a different branch. So this isn't actually really implemented here very well. It shouldn't be on here at all actually, but let's see. So here's the save and load that I have. But again, this gets pretty game specific. So here's the register data. So this gets called on enable. We register itself. Passing the save. And then I'm just, in this case, what I'm doing, this is the hex tile manager. So this has just got a whole bunch of lists and dictionaries that, dictionaries, I think largely, that need to get saved. So I'm using Easy Save 3, I think the version of it. It does what it says. It's really easy to use. And I just save those. Likewise with the load, we check if the file exists. And then in this case, I'm loading over time because I'm loading all these tiles is takes a long time. It frees up the computer. And then we just, again, loop through those lists and recreate the data. But yeah, I don't know if that's remotely helpful. I will probably make a video at some point once the game is more done. But I really like this save and load manager approach with the interface. It's nice. It's clean. This isn't going to change a whole lot. And then each manager, like, there's a fair amount of code there, but each manager is taking care of itself. So again, it makes it really easy to figure out which manager is working or what or not working. So I don't know if that's helpful. That's where we're at. Okay, let's look at. If you got any more questions, let me know. I'm happy to if you want to see more, jump over. There should be a link in the description down somewhere to a Discord. Get on the Discord. I'm happy to share that, like that load save manager, if you want to take a look at it. No, so actually a single save is only going to have one file. So what's happening, Easy Save, you can basically append to the file however you want. So I'm passing in a single file name. In this case, like my file name is test data save. I'm passing that in, but every manager saves to the same file. I think all of my saving is done synchronously. I don't know if there would be problems if you had to save asynchronously over several frames, doing it the way that I'm doing it. Yeah. Saving and loading is a pain in the ass. There's no two ways about it. Yeah. But yeah, if you want to see this, jump on the Discord. Not trying to advertise the Discord, but jump on the Discord. Happy to send you this file. You can peruse it and what have you. But so far, it's working really well. The only piece I would like is I'd like to avoid this having each iSave data having to to register its, like, manually having to type it in so that it registers itself. I wish it could register itself automatically. I don't know. I guess I wish that step was unnecessary. But yeah, it works really well. Okay. Next piece is, let's close some of this stuff. I'll have to do some play testing. But the next thing is, did I just close out the thing I wanted? I did just close the thing I wanted. Okay. The next thing is, we don't want the skip tutorial to be shown to everyone. All right. What I'm looking for is an achievement manager. Let's go find it. I think I just spelled achievements wrong when I was searching for it. Okay. So here we go. We've got tutorial complete. So the against Steam's recommendations, I added in achievements, partially because, well, actually, mostly because it's a non-invasive way of tracking how far my players are getting. Because you can see the global percentage of players that have unlocked an achievement. And so I have like things like, hey, did you survive the first night? Meaning like, right, you survived the first attack. Did you survive 25 nights? That's actually a pretty decent amount of time to be playing, being as each day is 4 minutes. And then tutorial complete, same idea. So, right, the first night and tutorial complete, those are the two that I'm most interested in as a developer, like how far did people get? So what I'm going to actually do here too, I'm going to add in player prefs. Yeah, we're going to do like that. I'm going to save it in 2 ways. I don't love relying on player prefs, but if somebody's playing offline, I still want this to work. So let's go here. Back to our state of the game. We're going to do a private function. It's going to return a bool. Can skip tutorial. So first thing we're going to do is if player prefs get int equals 1, we're going to return true. So basically, hey, if player prefs is there, then great. I don't care about anything else. What I do want to do though, in case somebody moves to a different computer, well, let's pull it up. Let's I guess I want to see. Okay, there we go. Here's a state of the, we can just call state and then we can check and see if it is unlocked. So let's add public bool is achievement unlocked, achievement name. I don't know if that's actually, I don't know if that will work. We're creating a new achievement. seems strange. Steam stat users internal. Maybe that works. All right. Well, maybe that works. I don't know if that's actually going to work. Okay. I feel like that's not how you actually spell it. Is that actually how you spell achievement? Maybe it is. Okay. Else return Steam stats achievements. Did I not make it static? Achievement unlocked. And let's grab tutorial complete. Yep. And then we're going to do skip tutorial game object set active can skip tutorial. Oop. And I'm going to put a breakpoint there. I'm just going to, I shouldn't hit that first one, right? I shouldn't hit tutorial complete because we haven't, that's a new player pref. That shouldn't have a value. Actually, let's see. Okay, so I'm monitoring the, supposed to have, help coach a mountain bike team. We're supposed to have practice tonight, but the air quality is horrendous. Yeah, it's not going to happen. There's like one spot in the United States right now that's got bad air quality, and it's right here, or really bad air quality, I should say. All right, so okay, we hit that right off the bat. That's good. Well, let's see if that worked. It didn't. Well, you know what? Well, I'm not logged into Steam anyways. So that would actually be, let's see where we actually, I'm betting we hit right here, actually. Come on. All right, so we hit that. All right. Is connected false. Okay, yeah, so our Steam manager's not connected. Totally makes sense. We will I'm like totally having like a total brain fart as to where I actually set this. Where did I actually, like, my brain is like totally like, don't know. Okay, yeah, okay, tutorial. Okay, tutorial complete. We set it there. Okay, and where is this getting triggered from? Worker button unlocked. So if I unlock that, that should do that. That should set my player pref the way I want it to. I apparently broke that. Oh, there we go. It still didn't work. So why isn't okay? So we're not triggering that. Well, let's put this in a better place. That is probably a dumb place to put that anyways, because it doesn't really have to. Um, let's put it over here where it actually makes sense to have that. Let's get rid of the debug statement. All right, if I press do trigger, that should set my player pref. I think you can set player prefs out of play mode. Maybe. Why aren't you working? Maybe you can't do it out of play mode. Oh, what? Yep, I'm an idiot. This is some bad. This is mostly some bad naming and changing the way the tutorial worked. Yeah, that's some bad naming catching back up to me. It used to be that, so I used to have the when you got your supply ship and you finished your first shipment. Let's see that. Let's make sure that actually triggered. When you got your first supply ship, there we go. Okay. You got your first supply ship, loads, send off. That would open up the market window and the worker menu, and I thought that was just too much. It was like overload. It was like, here's two complicated UI menus. There we go. Okay. Awesome. We're going to call ourselves again because we undid all that. Cool. Might mean that from experienced players, I get a little less feedback on how to play the game, or how the tutorial goes. But I think that'll make for a more enjoyable thing. I'd like for that to not open up. Tech tree is good to go. Oh, that's not good. Okay. I wonder if I add, so if I add tech credit, I was just curious if that was going to trigger. Normally when you get your first tech credit, it triggers the opening of the tech tree. So we should, okay, that's working good. We'll have to do some play testing with it later. Let's close that down, save the game. So we want to do hex tech tree. Let's go look at. Okay, we're going to add in. We're going to change. We're going to give the player some money to start with. Not very much. That way they can play. They can pay their workers the first day. All right, skip tutorial. Oh, I do. Wait, we started with 500. I think there's already tech credits given, but they are. We just need to force a refresh of the UI. Okay, yeah, there. Okay, so there we've got 500, which actually gets us our first upgrade if we really wanted it. Let's get some power going. I like the addition. I really quite like the addition of the symbols up above the paths. They're not quite as easy to read as I might like, but I'm not sure how to solve that, to be honest. Okay, let's okay, that took about an hour, which is what I was thinking it would. I think this is all working. I think we're good to go. It's gonna need some more play testing. but I feel like that's a great addition. That's something I've wanted to add kind of for myself, but also for the handful of players who are coming back to the demo and putting more and more time into it. Like if they're really enjoying the game, then let's not penalize make them go through the tutorial over and over again. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do, is create a new quest, a new directive, if you will. And so what that's going to look like, it's reveal our tiles here. So we can reveal our map. What I want to do is I'm gonna have to figure out when it fits into the game. When's the best place? So a comment came back, and I think it's a legitimate critique of the game. So the tutorial takes about 10 minutes or so, depending on timing of things, to get through. Maybe 15 if you're going kind of slow. Once you're done with the tutorial, you have all the tools, you have everything that you need to make money, to make resources, right? You get the small starting island, and you build more solar panels, you build more mines, you build more farms. There's generally more than enough land where you start to get an economy cranking pretty good, or get the basics going. But then we want the player to start expanding and going out further. And so what I want to do is encourage the players to come out and find a new resource. And I haven't got to watch a whole lot of people play the game, but I've watched a couple people play the game. And that's definitely a sticky point for them. So what I want to do is create this directive that will mechanically is going to go out and find an iron ore deposit that's nearby the base, preferably hasn't been discovered yet. That's going to be maybe a bit of the tricky part in terms of timing, because sometimes players can see, or they might expand faster than others. And I want to actually like show it to them. I want to like expose that part of the map and be like, you need to come build here. That is your current directive. And we might be dependent on, I might do a check whether they've already expanded out to another resource node. If they've already done that, then fine. We don't need to give that to them. So I guess that's probably the good check. If they have built, if they've built beyond this initial starting point, if they have buildings beyond that, then, or if they have mines around this, then that's great. So that's what I want to do. It's going to be maybe one of my more complex ones, more complex directives, but did Unity just freeze on me? No, I just had a little brain fart. Okay, so let's look at, we've got our quests here. And I think I have all the bits and pieces of the code to make this work in other places. And I do have a directive that's sort of like this. I have a directive a quest, if you will, that says, hey, go find some iron ore and then mine from it. But I don't know. I would have thought that would have been enough, but it seems, I'm curious if this is a better approach. I'm totally missing my scripts folder. Where have I put it? Okay. Communication, directives. All right, we're going to do develop. All right. All right, this is going to be a quest of sorts. And it's been a while since I've created these, so let's go back and take a look at all of what is needed here. So maybe I don't want to. We're gonna inherit instead from directive base. We might have to go back and change that. But those other quests are there's too much going on. I don't want to keep modifying those anymore. So here's what we've got. So we're gonna start with iron. So we're gonna define the type of resource to discover. Resource type. Okay, resource type. All right, amount to collect. And I know I'm going to have to do a private amount collected, and this needs to be non-serialized. Non-serialized, so we don't save that value. Let's do. Actually, let's go look at. Let's see how we did that. I want to make this fairly generic. There we go. Building requirements. That's what I want. All right. So we're gonna have there's gonna be a fair amount going on. This is the idea here is this has got to be a fairly large, fairly sizable task, right? You got to go find this thing. You got to go collect stuff. All right, so let's go look at what we need here. So there's some of the stuff is. Okay, we definitely need an initialize. Okay, we're going to initialize, but then we got to do certain things. So we're going to find, X tile, find resource tile. Okay, so what I want to do, so now we got to find the tiles. So what I want to do is we're going to look for, um, we're going to look for tiles by type that haven't been revealed. And I think, actually, let's go look at, what was the name of that other, collect resource directive. This has got a ton of the stuff already figured out. It should. Oh, is that not the one I want? Maybe this is the one I want. Yes, this is the one I want. There's a lot going on in this one. This is effectively the one I'm trying to replace. So let's, okay, I don't care about that. Resource type. This is the get tile type for resource. That is what I was looking. No, that gives me a tile type. Get all revealed tiles of the type that. All revealed tile types. Okay. Get all tiles of a type. That is what I want. Actually, I want this one. Get all tiles of type. Great. Oops. Okay, it returns my list. Okay, list of hex tiles. Tiles equals hex tile manager. Get all tiles of type. Right. Okay. Right. Okay, so that gives me a list of all my tiles. Okay, so I just need to like think through what I need to do. So because I've got this set up to get revealed tiles, but I want actually. Well, I need to think about this one. There's just some bits and pieces here. I don't want any that are particularly close. So the things I need, I want it to be more than 5 units away from the origin. That's easy to do. So let's maybe we're just going to loop through this. So we're going to do a for each. I don't think we want all that. Okay. Tiles, look, hex position, max. Okay. So if max is less than, say, 5, we're going to continue. So the nice way that hex coordinates work, the maximum value of any of its coordinates is the distance it is from the origin. Let's look at how I did it here. I think I thought I'd done something. Yeah, there we go. Max position. Okay, 5. Okay. That gets me beyond the starting area. So if the max is less than 5, we're just going to ignore it. And I just want to think about the most efficient way to do this, because I want to okay, we got to do, I just got to think through the logic here a little bit of what we want to do. So I'm going to do another private function that returns a bool. What I'm thinking here is we want to check and see if the player's already expanded, then we don't really want to give this to them because it's going to be confusing. It's going to be hard to get right. So can be assigned. All right. Oop. So right now, can be assigned. First thing we're gonna do is get a list of, actually, we're gonna do almost the same thing we did here. We're gonna do this here, except for get all revealed tiles of type. All right. Then we're going to loop through, just like we did here. If the max position is greater than 5, meaning we have, they have found one out beyond the base, then is that really gonna be, this is what gets hard for me, like trying to make these work in the right way. So if it's greater than 5, that means, and it's been revealed, that means they have found it, which is good. But we also want to check and see. Okay, so we're going to do the opposite here. We're going to do continue. I want to be careful I don't like have loops inside of loops inside of loops inside of loops. So what I can do, if it's revealed and it's beyond that, they may not have, developed it. So again, the goal here is to, ideally, we're going to show them a resource. We're going to expose it. We're going to reveal it on the map, and then ask them to go build next to it. So if they've already revealed one, and so if they've already revealed some, we don't want to then ignore the ones that they've revealed. We want to, and then show them one even farther out, because that's not what we want. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to grab, let's see what we've got here for Hex Tile Manager Get neighbors. Get, I don't want empty neighbors. Location next to. Nope. Okay, actually, okay, it's in the, okay, let's see. We can do it a different place. We can do, we're going to get a list of positions. So hex 3. These are our neighbors. This is going to be nope. X3, get neighbors, get neighbor locations, get neighbor at distance. I think just neighbor locations is fine, like that. So that's all the surrounding hexagons. Actually, I just, okay. And I'm going to actually add in the tile hex position. We're going to add in its own position. And the reason we're going to do that is because, so a mine has to be placed next to the ore deposit, but things like the oil well and the gas platform are placed on top of the resource itself. So we want to add that in so we can check that. And then we want to use unit manager, all player units at that. And we're going to do neighbor. Something like that. Yuck. Okay, so we're going to add all those neighbor units, and then we're going to look at for each unit in units. Oh my gosh. I don't know if this is going to make sense. Okay, so then we loop through our units, and we're going to look and see, hey, is there somewhere there that this unit for the type? Okay. There's probably a lot of these I really didn't need to add. Okay. Actually, let's just do. I don't actually think I don't actually have anything to collect sand yet. I don't think actually. I don't think that unit has been sand pit. I did define it. Cool. Okay, that should be pretty safe. Okay, so if we've already got a unit that does our thing there, we're not going to assign. Cannot be assigned. We're just going to return. So we're just going to do a quick check. Hey, if we can assign this, great. If not, we're going to pass. Okay. Actually, there's a much easier way to do that. Let's just get rid of all that because we'll just make this smarter. So if required buildings contains unit type, yeah, that's fine. Nope, that doesn't work. That way I don't have to maintain that function. So basically we're saying, hey, if a required type of building is present, then we should not assign this directive. Great. Okay. Makes my brain hurt. Okay. That's just going to hopefully be an idiot check. Hey, can we actually assign this or not? That way we're not showing the player something redundant that's either confusing or is not pushing them forward. Okay. Now what we need to do is back to find the resource tile. So we want to find the resource tile that we're going to show the player and ask them to build something nearby. And then once we find that tile, then we can test this here, and then we'll start adding more features. But we'll be in a testable state here fairly soon. So I guess actually, so if it's greater than that, what we would then want to do is place a fog revealer, serializable field, private fog revealer, fog revealer prefab. So, okay, so if we did that, then we're going to want to, we're going to get a fog revealer, instantiate fog revealer prefab. Okay, like that. And then fog revealer, let's go take a look at what we've got in here. Okay, let's take a look at how we did this. So I've got one of these in the world. So I've got a fog revealer here. I've actually already got it. Okay, that'll actually work. We're just going to instantiate that fog revealer. And then we're going to return. Actually, maybe we're just gonna, I guess we're gonna return the tile. Let's keep it, we'll keep it nice and simple what the function's doing. Okay. Like that. If tile to reveal equals null, then return. Great. Actually, let's do the, okay. Place fog revealer. Okay. So let's put in some breakpoints here because we wrote a lot of code here. We wrote another thing we need to do. This is a scriptable object, so we actually need to be able to create this. So like create asset menu. Great. So what I'm hoping is going to happen, we're going to start up the game. We're going to add this directive. It's going to initialize itself, and it's going to, well, we might throw some errors because I think there's some things we didn't implement, but hopefully it will expose a iron ore directive. So we got to go create this we've got to create the actual scriptable object. I, for some reason, decided to keep all mine in prefabs folder. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to collect iron. Iron ore is what we're looking for. We're going, I don't know, we'll collect, I don't know, 25 is fine. Building, we'll fill this out anyways. Building, we want to build a mine. We're going to build one of those. I might make that a little bit more in depth, but I do want to be careful a little bit for some of the logic I put in there. Okay, fog revealer, great. Let's see this happen. Again, what I'm hoping is going to happen here, we might throw some errors because of some unimplemented functions. But what I'm hoping is going to happen is that it will once the world here all gets built. Let's see, yeah. Actually, I'd like to step through the initialization. I just want to make sure this is all working. All right, there we go. World's all built. We're going to add this directive and see what happens. Okay. Okay, we're looking for FER. Okay, we have. Okay, so we got 3 tiles that were already exposed. And we should. Yep. Great. Okay. So that worked. We're going to, okay, initialize. That doesn't do much for us right now. I want to come back here. Okay, again, FER, that's great. Okay, so we found 15 tiles. That's great. This is probably going to go through to the 4th time. Yep. Okay, great. So those first 3 were the ones we found before. Return true. Tile is not null, so we're going to keep going. We're going to place this fog revealer. And voila. But where's our fog revealer? All right, fog revealer, where are you? Well, you didn't do your job. Well, how in the world is that working for my other one? I understand what's going on there, but how does this one work? Say what? Okay, I know it's got a parent object. Okay, it's got a parent object, which is why it's not objecting. Okay. And whereas that one is just setting out on its own. All right, we're gonna be a little hacky here. World controller equals first type of world controller, and we're gonna go world controller transform. That'll keep it tidy. I haven't worried too much about the hierarchy when the game is running. We're gonna clear all these breakpoints because it was working. I haven't worried too much about the hierarchy once the game is running. A whole bunch of stuff gets instantiated as we go, but that'll prevent me from having to add a bunch of other logic to that class, and it'll keep it nice and tidy, located in the well-named parent object world bits. All right, we skipped our tutorial. That's good. It's working. All right. And let's go back to our project here. We add this directive. Okay. And there it is. Perfect. Perfect. Totally perfect. That is exactly what I want. We've exposed this region. It's great. I love it. Totally works. Okay. Well, so the only other thing that we need to do here is we need to order. So if I reveal tiles, that's a long ways away. For player, that's a long ways away. We need to get the closest. But that's working great. I with one minor mistake, we've written 100 lines of code and it worked. That's pretty. That feels pretty awesome. Okay, tiles equals tiles order by. We're gonna use a little link here to make it easy. Yep. I can actually do that. I don't know, that makes it less readable. Okay, we're gonna do that. Let's try that one more time. We should get the closest iron ore that's not in the immediate vicinity. I love it. And we'll work on the other notifications, right? Obviously, it's not sufficient what we've just shown there. All right, so we've got that. We add our directive, and there she is. Beautiful, nice and close. And let's check here that that is kind of the same. There's some copper. I dug out some old trees out of an old project. I think they're kind of fun. These orange trees give the game a little bit more color. I'm going to do some reworking of how many trees get shown, so we get a little bit more color going on in the game. I've got a couple other new tile types that are going to make an appearance in the game as well. Okay, so that really appears to have done it. So let's count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they're same distance. We got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, there's a bunch of them that are right there. So but we found the closest one. That's awesome. All right. Next, what we're going to need to do is we're going to do message panel, not message data, message panel. show message. So that's what it's called. We are going to do let's do interpolated string here. We have resource. What is this one called? Resource type to nice string has been discovered. Has been. How about revealed? Revealed. And we're going to pass in the tile to reveal game object. So that way, what that does is it allows the player to click on that message and allows them to click on that message and then takes them to that one place. I forgot I had done this message data here. So let's see. We set the message. I added some of this functionality more recently. So let's do this a little bit differently. Let's do a message data. Let's do this a little differently. Message data. Message data equals new message data. Message data equals, are you going, message has been revealed. Target is that. This probably doesn't actually, message object, message color equals color manager, get color code. We'll make it nice. That'll make it nice and blue. We don't need to set that. But then we'll send that message data and set display time. I want to make sure that this is up for a while. We're going to do 20 seconds. I've done this a bunch at work. I saw the Odin guys do it first. This idea of like function chaining, where you can call function after function. All of this, like these two functions are getting called on the message. I really like it. I understand that it can go a little wrong. It can be a little confusing, but in the right places, it is a super nice way of keeping your code compact and still pretty readable. Okay, that's going to send out a message. That's great. Debated whether I want to put a marker down or not. I kind of feel like I want to put a marker down. Marker prefab. Okay. And I'm going to do this the same place here. If marker, now let's just do instantiate marker prefab. Boop. That works. I'll work on this. Will come with some audio. think that's the one that I want. Rally point marker. Nope. Red mark. Nope. Yeah, that's the one I want. Red location marker. That is the one I want. All right, let's see what that looks like. We should now get a nice little message on the bottom left. We should also get a kind of a blinky marker on top of the location. All right, let's place that down. And then we're going to add our directive. So there's our iron ore has been revealed. There we go. Not entirely sure when that mark. Let's look at that marker. I'm not sure. I use that marker for various things. Oh, actually, it's apparent. It's apparent up here. I think I can't remember what actually clears this up. Oh, it gets turned off at night. I might need to switch that up a little bit. Might need to switch that up. But that's great. Okay. On to the other bits and pieces of this directive. So that's the hard part, I think, or most of it. So we've done all that. Now display text. This is where it gets a little bit trickier. So we need to all right, so we're going to have a list of strings here. And this is the display text is what it sounds like. It is a it's what gets displayed at the top left. So each string is a different line. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a for each building requirements. Let's look at where else I've done this so I don't have to reinvent. Well, isn't that neat? I built in a display text. There we go. Look at me being clever and stuff ahead of time. All right, so that's all the building text. And then what I need to do is we also need a strings add collect to collect like that. Well, actually, we're gonna do it like this: collect resource. Amount to collect. Amount collected. Look like that. And then we're going to return those strings. Okay, is complete. Here again, we're returning a list of booleans. And again, so let's go. I'm pretty sure I thought about this ahead of time. is complete. There we go. I'm going to create a list of pools. Results. Okay, so basically we look, hey, does the number built greater than or equal to the total to build? We're also going to return amount collected greater than that. Return results. This kind of broke my brain the first time I put this together. This idea of these lists of strings and lists of booleans. But I really like it now. All right, let's look at building directive again. What did I do on complete? Okay. There's some boilerplate stuff there that unfortunately I need to copy over every time. Was that not actually? Oh, okay. That doesn't. But what this does here is we add a communication. So we can play a communication, we can play a message after it's complete. So that automatically does it. And if we have any triggers, anything that happens, we trigger those triggers. All right, let's check and see if that. All we should be able to see now is, do we have any errors? Yes. What are you? Did I just not save it? I just didn't save it. What we should now, the only difference we should see now is we should get the text that pops up on the left. We have no way of measuring whether these things have been done yet. Okay, so there's our build mine up there. Collect resources. Iron ore has been revealed. There we go. So I think one of the things I might want to do, I'm just thinking through this, I might actually want to I don't know. I guess I'm trying to think of how basically I'm trying to think of how the player could screw this up at some level. How could the player screw this up? So if so let's say, imagine like if I have tiles out here, if the player was to put a mine over here and mine from this one, I think that still meets the idea or the goal behind this. So I may need to find iron ore that is next to the iron ore that I have highlighted. Or maybe better yet, what I need to do is have these markers on each of those sources. I mean, I think most players are going to try to build around this one. But I do find that players don't follow directions very well. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? Hex tile manager. That's what I'm looking for right there. Okay, so let's find. So basically, what I would like to do now is okay. So I found the one iron ore, and I want to find any iron ore that is connected to that one. So I have all these functions here. Some of like you're like I love this one. Right, I've got all these functions in here to find neighbors and what have you. And kind of what I want here is this get filled neighbor locations. One way to do this is I could just look at, I could get all the neighbors that are within, say, 3 units, and then search them all for the same resource type. That would work. And the clumps of resources generally come in groups of 2 or 3. But I kind of want to build it to be a little bit more robust than that. I want to be careful I don't go down some recursive nightmare hole thing. Okay, place fog revealer. So I think this is where we want to do it. So what I want to do is we're going to do resource positions, and this is going to be a new just be a new list. Resource positions is going to add that current position. And let's just do it this way. Get adjacent resources. And we're going to put in that position like that. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is get a list of our neighbors, our neighbor positions. And that's going to be hex3, get neighbor locations like so. Then we are going to loop. Okay, so we're going to loop through those neighbors, and we're going to get that hex tile if tile type equals resource. does it always get so complicated? Okay, so if it's not the type of resource that we're looking for, we're going to continue. I really want to kind of make it easy and cheat a little bit. I mean, the chance that like 5 or 6 resources are all chained together is not very likely. But I do have in mind at some point to maybe before Steam Next Fest to add in a menu where the player can tweak some of the settings for a given world and create their own world. Um, and one of those settings would be the cluster size, how many of these things get clustered together. And like, yeah, this is like there's like a recursion here that I got to be really careful of. Okay, so this gets the first neighbor. That's great. But now we need to check the neighbor's neighbor. And you get yourself in a recursion nightmare there. Um, oh, my brain's breaking. Okay. So we're gonna do okay. Let's see if I can break things. Let's see if we can break things. So we're gonna take the resource, we're gonna add the current position, and then we're gonna send in both that current position and the list. And the reason we're sending the list is so that we can make sure that we're not duplicating over and over again. I feel like I'm gonna get myself in a recursive loop here. So if resource positions contains neighbor, does not contain neighbor, then yes, that's actually what I want right there. Then we're going to add it, and then we're going to get the adjacent things to that neighbor, just like that. That's the recursion I think my brain was looking for. And then we're going to return that thing. And then we're good to go. Let's well, let's just go for it. Why not? Okay, so now we're gonna go for each position in positions. All right, we're gonna take all this up here and go like that, and instead we're gonna go position like that and like that. $50-50 chance we lock up Unity and we end up in a recursive death loop. All right, but before we do that, we are going to make sure we have saved our scene. I think either way, whether we get in a death loop or this works, I'm probably going to call it quits at this point. I'm glad to have the skip tutorial button, but it doesn't look quite right. Maybe they need to be buttons down. I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right. Moment of truth. Null reference. Awesome. Tile equals null. Continue. Okay, well, you know, no spiraling death loop there. I don't know why I keep putting the headquarters down. It feels like I need to. I don't think I do. It's just muscle memory. Did it work? Oh, it worked. No way. No way. Will it work a second time? I think it'll just, yeah, it just finds the same ones. No way. Holy cow, that worked. I mean, what do you say? I mean, and then I think what I want to do is I've got to put a different script on here or get a different prefab for this marker. Or just alter the code on the markers because it's going to turn off at night, and the player may or may not be able to get to it. It feels like a pretty sizable marker. I'm not sure it needs to be quite that extreme, but should make it easy for the player to find it. And I'm pretty sure if I go to a quick day, I think those markers will turn off. Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm super thrilled. That's like there's still work to get done. I need to get the the communication to the player about what's actually going on, the dialogue, the audio for it, any complete. We still can't actually track whether they're making progress on that, but that feels huge. So I'm gonna call it quits.